A limitation of using the if and else statements is that they only work on a single element vector, that is a scalar vector. But in most scenarios and most situations, we work with vectors, data frames, and these are usually more than one element. So we need a way to perform actions that will not be limited to a single element, and that's where the if else function comes in. And with if else, given a set of conditions, you can perform actions seamlessly. To start, let's create a variable. I'll call this x, and x will be the number 20 to 50. And within x, we can decide to identify all the even numbers. And to do that, we need to ensure that each element is divisible by 2 without a remainder. So that will be 20, and we use this divided by 2, then we have 0. So if you have 40 also divided by 2, we have 0. But if we have things like 21 divided by 2, this is 1. What we want to ensure is we always have a remainder of 0. So let's pass this into the if else statement. The if else is having 3 arguments. And these are the arguments. The first one is the test, the second one is yes, and the third one is no. So we can write like this, the test. So what is the test? The test in this case is the condition. And the condition we want to set is what? X divisible by 2 is equals to 0. And yes is the value we want to return when it is true. That is the value we want to return when this is true. And what we want to do then is we want to return even. Then we have no and no. And when it is false, we want to return odd. So once we press Ctrl Enter, and we see that this works as expected. But we can make this a bit clearer than this, because given this now, we are just saying even odd, or we can decide to include a number. If you remember in one of the previous lessons, especially when we're talking about functions, and we touched upon the point of the positional argument and the keyword argument. Now we can use the positional argument for if else also. So if else, we'll run the same test, x divisible by 2, 0. Now we'll use the paste function, paste 0, I'll pass x here, and now I want to include this 20 even. So this will show the number, and to tell us if it is even or odd, then we have paste 0 also, then we have x, then we have odd here. And once we click this, see what we have. We see 20 is even, 21 is odd, 22 is even, 50 is odd. And that is nice. This is as expected. So instead of using the if and the else statement, we can use the if and else statement to perform action on vectors of elements with length more than 1. One thing with if else is if it's a single element, we can also perform actions on it. For example, if you have y is equals to 55, you can check if it is even or odd. If else y divisible by 2 is equals to 0, then even, else odd. Oh, an error. Okay, and see, it works well, odd. Now the if and the else function are not totally useless in their own way, although there's some limiting, but if you combine them with the for and the while loop, they can be quite powerful also. And you will see this when we get to for loops. But before we end this session, there is a quick exercise for you to do. So give me a moment and I'm going to type this out for you. So now for your exercise, what you have to do is you have to create a vector of the following objects. And of course, you can decide the variable name. So we have novel, orange, mango, clementine, textbook. So what you have to do is, firstly, you use the if else statement to categorize them into fruit or book. Then after that, you create another if else statement and you print them also, but this time around, you ensure you include a little message in front of them. Example, this book is a book. So pause the video now, take your time and do this. You can watch the lesson again to get it, but ensure you do it yourself. Well, I hope that went well. Now let's go to the solution. And for this, I'll call these objects my objects, and I'll give them novel, orange, mango, clementine, then textbook. So the first statement says that using the if else statement, we should categorize them into fruits or book. So what I'll do is I'll take my object, I'll pass my object into the if else statement. I'll say if my object, okay, if it's equal to that's novel, or my object is equal to textbook. I want you to return book, else return fruit. Yep. So this is the statement, and we have this. So we have book, fruit, 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 book. Then if we print my object here, you see they should align. So book, novel, fruit, orange, fruit, mango, fruit, clementine, then book, textbook. But that's not all. It says also that secondly, we need to have their name printed with a message in front of them. So I'll copy this, then I'll have this here. So we have this book is a book as an example. So I can say, yeah, I'll paste and use this case. I'll use my object and say printed, then I'll say it's a book. I'm going to divide this. Yes, then we have, I'm just going to bring this down. Then we have paste 0 like this. My object is a fruit. And the thing with this is the test here. We have the yes argument, then the no argument like this. So if we run this, we have novel is a book, orange is a fruit, mango is a fruit, clementine is a fruit, and textbook is a book. So that is nice. I hope you got that. So yeah, moving on. One thing about if else statement is they can undo more complex things. For example, we can decide to nest an if else statement into an if else statement.